Have you ever wondered what happens to the Eucharist after Mass ends? Because you've probably watched the priest or deacon gather the remaining hosts, and they place them in that covered vessel, which is actually called a ciborium, and then they carry it away from the altar, and you really don't give it much thought. Because see, Catholics believe that Jesus remains truly present in every consecrated host, even after the Mass is ended. So any hosts that remain are either consumed or they're reserved inside the tabernacle. So when the ciborium is placed inside the tabernacle, the Eucharist continues to be treated with the same care and reverence it received during communion. So knowing that it's Jesus that truly remains present in the tabernacle, it kind of explains a few things that you might have seen in church but never really truly understood. So seeing the tabernacle is secured, or seeing Catholics genuflect, which is when they go down on one knee. They do that towards the tabernacle when the Eucharist is reserved there. You might have also seen sanctuary lamps that burn nearby to indicate that Christ's presence is in the Eucharist. So all of this comes from the same Catholic belief that Jesus remains truly present even after Mass. So the church will reserve the Eucharist primarily so that communion can be brought to people who can't be present at the Mass, especially the sick and elderly. So the host is brought into someone's home or hospital room, and that's the host that's already been consecrated during Mass. So a priest, a deacon, or an authorized extraordinary minister of Holy Communion, they place the consecrated host inside a small container, which is called a pyx, and they bring that Eucharist directly to the person who couldn't be at Mass. And to me, I think there's something really beautiful about that. Because if you try to think about someone who might have been attending the same parish for years, who probably sat in the same pew every Sunday, knew all the people around them, heard the same bells, said the same prayers, heard the same hymns, then something happened, whether it was illness, age, or just some other circumstance that kept them from coming back. You can kind of imagine what that would feel like to be separated from the parish that they'd been such a part of and had been such a part of their life. They might have felt, alone or scared, maybe forgotten. And then someone arrives carrying the Eucharist, right? Like the parish comes to them. The same Jesus that was received by everyone at Mass is brought into their home or hospital room. And I just love what that says about the church, because people who can't come to Mass, they're still remembered, right? They're still a part of the parish, and they still receive Jesus in the Eucharist. And here's another thing I learned when I was doing research for this video. When communion is given to someone approaching the end of life, it's called a Viaticum, which I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, but that word itself is often translated as food for the journey. So the person receives the Eucharist as they prepare for the final journey from this life. And when you understand that and all these other pieces, the tabernacle begins to look a little different. The Eucharist is also reserved so Catholics can come into the church and they can pray in the presence of Christ. That's why you see sometimes people kneeling quietly near the tabernacle long after Mass is ended, because the church may seem empty, but Jesus is still present in the Eucharist. And I want to do a whole nother video about that, because I feel like if people truly understood Jesus is there, fully present, the line should be out the door. The same way it would be for a rock concert or, a sporting event, to know that Jesus is there, still present, is just really beautiful. So the next time you see the priest or deacon carry that ciborium away from communion, you'll know where it's going, and you'll understand that the story probably is contained far beyond the walls of the church. And that Eucharist may be carried into someone's home, down a hospital hallway, or to someone preparing for the final journey from this life. Even after everyone leaves, Jesus remains present for those who couldn't be there. So if this video helped you see the Eucharist differently, please leave a comment, like this video, and subscribe to Inspired Catholics. God bless all of you and your families.